Thank you to our patrons for helping make this podcast possible.
40, 50 feet, why don't you turn around and let's back into the table. Okay. Let this turn around to your right. Center. Forward. And just lead him. Just behind that field if you pick up the pizza. I don't want to go into the spot if I can afford it. That's right. Let them get a view from there and I'll see what the field of view looks like.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kill Bill the Rapper.
I'm Mitch Bill the Rapper.
Yes. And Rav's not here. He's currently flying to the U.S., the United States of America.
Yup.
And so we said, hey, let's record without him. Because, like, really, like, who needs him? Mm-hmm. Who needs him?
Mm-hmm. For real.
Needs him?
Who needs him?
I see you sipping that big-ass thing of water right there, that jug.
Yeah. I
got
need
this.
to drink a lot of water.
I got I got this number. Do you like it?
The classic? Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah.
I find like when I like have a bottle of water and I want to be because you need to drink like what 3 liters a day or something.
Something insane. Something I never
it's like
actually
a lot more
do.
that not many people get to. I want to try getting to it just to see what it feels like.
Yeah.
And if I have a water bottle, I'll drink the water bottle, which is like I have a big one. It's like 1 liter. And then I won't refill it.
Yeah. I do that too. I have a bigger one than this one. I got one from, what was it, like the shirts.cool, the cool shirts.
Oh,
whatever.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. I got one of those, but I had a problem with it. It was great, but I went to the gym. Yeah. And you know how like, if you do like the treadmill or the elliptical, I can't remember which one it was I was on. Like they have like a cup holder, but it was too big for the bottle was too big for the cup, right? Cup holder. And so I put it down but it was just sitting in there. And then as I'm going, I'm increasing speed and I'm like kind of like hitting it with more impact. Mm-hmm. And it just like falls out, right? And I'm like, oh, it's a big ass bottle. Whatever, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And then like there was like a little like part that was like the bottom was like put on here. Okay. You know what I mean? Like it's like not that you could screw off, but it was like attached, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Like segmented. And it just hit the ground really hard and then it just popped the fuck off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it wouldn't go back in. And so I had to throw it away, unfortunately. But that was my big one. But yeah, you're right. I will drink like 2 of these and be like, well, that's my water for the day. And then forget about it.
And then forget to drink more. So I just have this big old jug of water.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do this. They get just like the gallon jugs. And then this is like their water they drink for the day. So I'm going to try that out.
How many liters are in a gallon?
I think it's like 3.7.
Oh, so it's perfect.
Something like that. Like, because I know that because I don't know if that's the case for urinals in the States, but where I'm from, it tells you on top of the urinal, some of the urinals tell you how much water it uses to flush, and it would say like 1 gallon or 3.7 liters or something like that. I don't remember what.
Yeah. I always, when I'm looking at the urinal, I'm always like, I wonder how much water is necessary.
It's good to know, you know? You got to be eco-friendly.
Wait a second. You mean to tell me that it uses a gallon of water every time you fucking flush a urinal?
Yeah, right?
Is it what? Isn't that like a lot of water? Am I tripping?
It is a lot of water.
Damn, dude. We're just wasting water.
We are.
You know what I think? We should just not flush anymore.
Yeah, we should just never flush.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm smart. I'm smart.
Yeah,
yeah. So, Mitch, how are you? Tell me everything.
You know, I've been good. I've been going around places. I saw. You know, all this fun stuff. I went to a cabin in the woods.
Damn, that's a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to the movie.
I went to the movie.
Yeah. How was it?
It was sweet. It was really nice. We were up in we were in Ohio, and just kind of hung out in Ohio for a bit. Yeah, skibbity.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, that was fun. What have you been up to, Bill?
Let's see. I've been working on some music, which has been nice. Just kind of like we're coming off of the Keep the Change rollout. Like we're still working on that a lot. Like just kind of like we posted up the lyric video for the what is the name of the song? The Things Will Get Much Worse From Here. Mm-hmm. We posted that, and it seems to be like a lot of people really like it. And so we're just going to keep doing stuff like that. We've been planning on doing more lyric video stuff, but people really liked that one.
Yeah, for real.
It also is kind of weird because it's like we put it out and then there's like so many people that are like, holy shit, you guys dropped an album? And I'm like, yeah.
Right? It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's super crazy. But we were working on stuff like that and roll out stuff and some other secret stuff, some like shit. But I did the other day, like started working on some solo music and I was like, oh, damn, it's like way different to like the vibes that I'm kind of trying to go for.
Yeah.
It's different from things that I've ever made before, but also like different from Keep the Change as well.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I'm excited to see what people think, or like I'm not even like really excited about what people think of it. Just I like this process of just kind of like when you're just starting something new and you're like trying different shit.
Yeah, for real.
You know. Yeah. I know you've been working on some music stuff, huh?
I've been working on some music stuff. I really have been focusing my efforts on making in between like little beat projects. I've been working on really tuning in my template, my default template for when I open up my DAW, you know.
Yeah. Or as I call it, the DAW.
Yeah,
I always called it the DAW.
I always called it the DAW, but then I feel like everybody else says DAW. And I wanted to fit in, okay?
No. I mean, I think DAW is like what you're supposed to say. But I'm always like, oh, it's like your DAW.
I've always said DAW.
Like, I'm never like, hey, man, send me a WAV file. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm always like, send me that wave. Send me that WAV real quick.
WAV, yeah.
That's just Elmer Fudd saying Rav's name.
Yeah. Send me that WAV. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's interesting you're talking about your template because like I don't have a template that I work from.
I didn't have one for years until recently, and then I realized that I could really just like move the mixing time, just like make it like almost gone. It makes mixing so much faster. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. That's the one thing is like I need to do that. I feel like the optimization, because it's like, for example, like even if I did a simple template, like I use the default thing, so it just has Fruity Limiter on it, like by already. And I'm like, every time I make a beat, I'm always turning that off and switching it out for something else. Like immediately, I'm like immediately like get this off. And I'm like, what? Like think of all the time that I've wasted doing that over the years.
Over there.
Yeah, because it's like like maybe 5 to 6 seconds out of every beat, and I've made like thousands of fucking beats.
Yeah.
So yeah, that adds up. Wait, it's like I've missed a movie.
Have I had a voice effect on this whole time? No. Okay, good.
Yeah, that would have been funny. We had to leave it in if you did.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Okay, how does this sound?
I mean, you sound good. It sounds the same.
Okay, good.
Yeah. What if I did, like, what if you had like the shitty, like crazy voice effect that I just didn't tell you the whole time?
Yeah, just the whole time. I was just talking and it sounded awful.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you do for your template? Because I know you wanted to talk some production stuff, and I feel like that's cool. People like it when we get nerdy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? What's your? We use FL.
I use
Studio.
FL, but I have been using Ableton I've been using Ableton on and off for a while, but I've kind of really started diving into it a lot more because they added some really cool like sampling features.
Yeah.
So you know how like in FL Studio, if you bring in like a song sample, right? You have to kind of figure out the timing of it and stretch it and squish it and stuff.
Yeah.
Ableton will detect it automatically, and it's really good. And it's just like perfect, and it's on beat with like your BPM that you have set, and it's amazing. So I've been playing around with that, but yeah, I primarily use FL Studio because I've been using it for like 10 plus years. And my main thing I've been like focusing on for my template is like routing and kind of having some like mild automatic side chaining.
That's sick.
It's not really like mixing, like in terms of like, I don't have any like EQs, or I'm like, oh, the vocal track will have an EQ shaped like this, and the mids, and like, because I feel like that's going to be different pretty much every time.
Yeah.
Unless I'm doing like the same person's vocals every time, then it might be a bit more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, the people I'm working with, like, because like it's so like, you know, we're not recording in booths. It can be a little bit different anytime, regardless. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So like,
it's different every time.
Yeah.
Like,
when I was like, when I make music with Chris, like back in the day, some of the vocals were like when he was living in a basement, so it was like that. Yeah. But then like he moved somewhere else, and then the vocals were like not in a basement anymore, so they sounded totally different. So so I can't just have like a default template for that.
It's crazy. But it's crazy because like I over the years I've recorded in so many different environments. Yeah. And it's like I've kind of like learned that it's like, as long as it's not a place that has insane room reverb, because I've always had some and I've always just kind of ignored it. Yeah. And people will be like, oh man, your mixes are good. So I'm like, okay, cool. So that's fine. No one cares about that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember one time I had a friend who he moved, but his parents, I was like close friends with his parents, who were like, hey, my friend's little brother, he was like 12 or 13. And they were like, we're going to the Bahamas and we're not taking him. And we feel bad about it. So like, would you like babysit him? But like in actuality, he was like old enough and smart enough to where he could have like been fine by himself. Yeah. Right. But like, he was like, can you just like babysit him? But in actuality, just like take him to go do shit. And like, basically like, hey, sorry, you're not going to the Bahamas.
My
you know,
bad,
that
bro.
shit.
Yeah.
And so that was sick for me because I got paid. And then on top of that, they gave me money to like fuck around with. Right. Yeah. And so like, I remember like we went and did a whole bunch of cool shit and stuff. And then he was getting into, it's funny now, this is like a while ago. Mm-hmm. He was getting into like podcasting. Like he was like, oh, I want a podcast. Like I want to do that shit. Yeah. And like, I guess this is before we were even doing like We Don't Suck or anything like that. But I was like, oh yeah, it's like pretty easy. And I showed him how to like set it up. Like, and I brought my laptop and my mic and stuff, and I was like teaching him how to use like Audition and like stuff like that. And as I'm doing it, I was like, hey, like, are there any like rooms in your house that don't have a lot of reverb? And he was just like, oh, I don't know. He's 12, 13. I said like echo, you know, like, you know, it just feels like, and he was like, I don't know, like maybe try some of the closets, you know? And so he had like a big, like, it was his brother's old closet, but it was like a walk-in closet. Mm-hmm. But because there was a bunch, it was like shaped like this, like almost like whatever this house shape is. I forget what it's called.
Oh, like the classic, like, and then like the triangle at the top.
Yeah. That number. That's like how the hall, it was like a hall basically, but it was a closet. Yeah. Like, and it was like fairly narrow, but it was really long. Yeah. But there was clothes like all in it. Right.
Yeah.
And dude, I tried recording a song in there and it was like dead. It was so crazy.
That's awesome.
And I remember recording, this is before I had this mic. Yeah. I had like a $200-$300 mic. And I remember being like, yo, this sounds like I'm in a fucking studio. Yeah. And then I was like, dude, I need to like record in here constantly. You know, because like just that made me want to do that. But I didn't want to be like, hey, friend of mine who moves parents, like, by the way, can I come record rap music in your son's old closet? And so I never did. And so it's funny because like time passed and that kid, this was like almost 10 years ago when I did, you know, and that kid is like an adult now. You know? Yeah. And he does like broadcasting for, shout out Nick. He does broadcasting for the Stingrays, which is like a minor league hockey thing in Charleston. I want to just hit him up because like he doesn't live there anymore, but like he comes and visits. And I just want to be like, hey man, can I just like make a trip down there and just record like 20 songs in your brother's old closet? Yeah. So maybe because like I know him well enough now. Like I've hung out with him like last year. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I've known him well enough now where I'm like, okay, dude, like this wouldn't be weird for me to ask. So make a little 4-hour trip to get some free studio time in. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So. Have you ever thought about making like those DIY sound panels for your office?
I have. I actually tried at one point.
Really?
Yeah, back when I was living in South Carolina. So like, At first I bought, because I didn't know any better, I bought those like the ones that are like squares. I'm doing it like this because I had it like
the foam cute square ones.
Yeah, those things fucking suck.
Yeah,
like they don't do any.
Bad.
They look kind of cool, you know, but they kept falling off of my wall for some reason.
Yeah, and they're like way too thin.
Yeah, way too thin, like way too thin. And then like so I looked it up, like how to do it cost effectively, and so I bought. It's like fiberglass insulation.
Yeah, like the rock wall insulation.
Yeah. It wasn't rock wall. It was fiberglass because fiberglass is so much cheaper than like rock wall is the highest end of that, you know? And so they were like, hey, how do you do this where you don't get fiberglass everywhere type shit, you know?
Yeah.
And so what you're supposed to do is you take it outside and like set up a table outside somewhere.
And you stick your face into it and you inhale.
You go, yeah, just kind of feel it.
Yeah, you feel it cutting up your lungs a little bit.
Yeah, but that's like chill. It's chill. It's
like, good for you.
Yeah. So anyway,
it's not
I don't think that shit leaves, by the way. Yeah, don't do that. I'm pretty sure
it stays forever.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as asbestos, but it's still pretty bad.
yeah, for sure. You'll get something. So basically what we did, it was like me and my mom, she lived next door to me. So she was like, she loves like arts and crafts shit. So it was kind of, you know, so what we did was you take it and then you take, you buy like adhesive, like a spray adhesive, and you'd take fabric, like kind of thick fabric, and then wrap around it. And then you would spray the adhesive and then you'd staple it down.
Did you make like a frame for it?
No, not yet. We never got that far.
Okay.
Like we made just the big thing. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. And it took forever to make one of them. And I bought a shit ton. I spent like $200 on this and I never actuated it. And then like, so we made one of them and it took like an hour.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Let me just make like 7 or 8 of these.
Yeah.
And just hang them on the wall. And I hung up one without a frame. Like I just like took it and then like I hung it on the thing and it fell off.
Yeah.
It was like very loud and I was like afraid that if I like jiggled it too much that I'd get like fucking fiberglass. Yeah. So I gave up on it. But I did hear a good alternative for this that's like fairly cheap. What you do is you get like a thick like just take wood, make a frame, right? As like big as you want it to be.
Like a 2x4, like a 1x2 or something.
Yeah, just like just make a frame as big as you really want it to be.
Yeah.
And then you take it and go to like Goodwill and like just get towels. Like
ooh.
And then you fill it with towels because that's like the cheap. Yeah, and then you take fabric and put over the front, and then you can have the fabric any design you want.
They have fabric at Goodwill too. They can have like rolls of fabric
there. That I kind of want to do that. The only thing is like now I don't really have it because like I record here, like in this spot, and so it's like I'd have to like maybe put it over here, maybe behind this. But
yeah,
like,
you want to put one like kind of behind your recording area, right? Behind your computer.
Yeah, but. Behind the computer. I've always heard that it's like the best things to do are directly behind you and directly in front of you. Yeah. Like those are like the biggest ones. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I could probably do behind me, but I'm like recording and the monitors are like right here. You know what I mean? So it's like shaped like this because I have 2 like curved ones. You know what I mean?
I think I
don't know how much it would do.
They put it like behind the wall, kind of above their monitors.
Yeah.
And then they'll put it like on the wall behind them, like maybe 2 vertical or 3, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be kind of weird. I think it would work it would definitely help. You know what I mean?
For sure. I just think that like for me, it's like I don't see like that big of a.
It's not that big of an issue that you feel like you need to correct.
Yeah, exactly. Like it feels like the way I compress my vocals and stuff, it doesn't feel like I'm like ever, even if I'm yelling. Yeah. Like it feels like it's like, oh, okay, cool. I also like since moving, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've done way less yelling shit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't want to.
Yeah, you have neighbors and stuff.
Yeah. I told my neighbors one time when I was going to do a yelling take, I just like went over and knocked on the door and was just like, hey,
I'm not dying.
Yeah, just like let you know, like I'm gonna be like screaming some very odd things, and it's for work, you know. And they were like, "Yeah, it's cool, whatever."
Awesome, that's good. Yeah, I think my apartment has like brick walls between, because I've never heard anything unless it comes from like the hallway, like the door where it's thin, but like anything else, nothing through the walls, very little through the ceiling, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I definitely hear my neighbors all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
You got that like that newer build, so it's like paper walls.
Yeah. But it's like, honestly, it's not bad enough to where like nobody does anything. Sometimes they'll get a dude like in my guest room, like that's where the shared wall is. Yeah. And I don't share a wall with anybody here. I'm like right here on the edge.
Oh, sweet.
Right?
Are you in a corner?
And so sort of. It's kind of hard to explain.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, like it is, but not. It's like in the middle, like there's like a space in between. So it's like I am a corner
it's like
unit. Yeah. It's one of those. Yeah. But yeah, basically my neighbor, I'll hear him playing music sometimes in my guest bedroom.
Yeah.
And there was a little time there where he would like loudly and angrily play video games.
I had a neighbor who would play Counter-Strike.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know what he was playing. I'm just gonna assume it was like Valorant or something, because like it was yeah, something toxic, something where people get you mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
if you like know some of the callers, you can kind of tell what game it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would just hear him and it would be like this. It would be like you can't really hear him what he's saying, but he would just be like, he was just like super pissed.
Dude, that's so funny.
Like at first I thought that it was like someone was being hurt, and then I listened, I put my ear to the wall, and then I heard like obvious video game sounds.
Yeah. And then like call outs and stuff. Yeah, my neighbor, back when I lived in Canada, I would just be like laying in bed, and then I'd hear like, plant the bomb. Just, like different call-outs and stuff, because I used to play Counter-Strike, so I recognized some of them. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
shouldn't have gone up banana, my guy. What were you thinking?
I was trying to think of like what, because like I'd be playing like Unite, and there's like obvious things that you say in Unite.
Yeah,
but it's also like one of those things because like, you know, everyone calls Rayquaza Ray. And like the goal is to kill Rayquaza at the end of the game. Yeah. So someone's walking by, like they probably think I'm trying to murder a man named Ray.
Yeah, Ray.
At all the time, like we gotta fucking kill Ray right now.
That's so funny. Dude. I love that kind of stuff though, like video game call out and like.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Yeah. No. Also, like here's one thing that's real crazy. So my neighbors are all cool. I know most of them. Yeah. Or at least are like have spoke to them type shit. But
you're so much more social than me.
Well, it's
like
easy
avoid my neighbors.
There's a pool. And so it's like when you go down there, you see the same people. And after a while, you realize also because everyone drinks at the pool. So people will just come up to you and be like, hey, you from here? Type shit. Like they'll just like immediately start talking.
That's nice.
You know, yeah, which is weird because nobody in my apartment complex is from Asheville. Yeah, like they're all like because everybody's moving here. So it's like most people have been here for as long as I have. Yeah, and they're also similarly like, Like I don't have friends, you know. Yeah, but I know most of them. However, there's this kid, and I know you shouldn't hate children. Okay, but. All right, so I'm at the pool and I'm with people, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm with this girl and she's like actively talking about like, hey, I don't want to get my hair wet. You know, like she's like, I'm not gonna, because I was like, it was cold in the water. Yeah. And so I was like, don't worry. Like if you dunk your head, it gets better, you know? And then she was just like, oh, I don't want to get my hair wet. And I'm like, fair. Okay, as a bald man, I don't know what that entails really, but just do your thing, you know? Yeah. And so like this kid who has to be like 5-6 years old does this thing where he'll like pick out people and just cannonball next to them.
You mentioned him before.
Is he like on the podcast or just in general?
I don't know if it was on the podcast or not. It might have been.
Yeah, but it would be this thing where he like jumps in, and then I was like, haha, yeah, you got us, kid. And he was like, hee, you know? Yeah. And then he does it again, and then I was like, hey, kid, let's not do that anymore, you know? And he just goes, and he just goes, no, and then just goes back up and does it again.
Sucks.
And
bro.
then And then one of my neighbors who's like, she's like in like her like late 30s. She's like, doesn't have kids, right? And she's just like, yo, I'm gonna make that kid stop. And I was like, and then she comes over to him and is just like, hey, stop, or I'll make you stop.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that means. Is that she gonna attack this child, which like
beat him up.
We're all thinking it. And then she's like, no. And she gets so mad because it's like clear that she's just like, just do the thing, just go over there,
Yeah.
And then his mom appears and she's just like, hey, don't do that. And he just goes, no. And I was like, fuck, dude. We're fucked.
We're done. It's over. And he's come back here again.
But I'm like just hanging out. I'm drunk, by the way. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
so
I'm just I'm like, no.
I'm kidding.
I get violent when I drink.
Time.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So no. So, but I'm chilling. But it's like hot outside, and there's this kid that just keeps doing this over and over, and I'm just like, and it's been like 10 minutes straight of this. It's disrupting everything because we'll start talking and it's like we'll forget about him. He lulls us into a sense of false security.
Yeah.
And then he just cannonballs right next to like, dangerously close to us, by the way. Like he's gonna hit somebody one day, you know? Good thing he's 5 and probably weighs like 15 fucking pounds or however much. You know what I mean? Like I think I got the numbers wrong on that. But yeah, so
he weighs like 2 pounds, he's 5.
Yeah. But his mom eventually makes him stop. Okay. So the other day I'm hanging out and I hear like a blood curdling scream, like right outside my fucking door. Okay.
Like in the hallway or like
it's like outside of my door.
Okay. Yeah.
Not here, not in the house, And
so but like in the,
yeah. It's like in the stairwell or whatever going up there. And so like I open the thing and I'm like, well, first of all, I'm like, someone's hurt. Yeah. Like it sounds like someone got stabbed, and it was long. It was like a full 4 or 5 seconds of scream.
Yeah. It's like someone's clearly extremely uncomfortable.
I open my door and I look up before I can really see where it comes from. And I see everyone is also opening their door. And I'm like the third one opening the door type shit. Yeah. And I look down. It's that little piece of shit kid just sitting right there, just yelling for no fucking reason, dude. Just like, he's just
now
like,
he knows where you live.
And I'm just like, fuck, dude, I'm gonna elbow drop this child. I'm going to jail. You know what I mean? And, so he just runs off. I look at my neighbors and they're just like, okay, and just like close the door. We don't even say anything. We just look at him and he's just like and just runs away. And so he just does shit like that constantly.
He's gonna be a reoccurring character in your life now.
God,
he already is.
He is. How do you make a child stop doing a thing when they won't listen to their mom? You know what I mean? What do? Do we just skip to?
No, I'm kidding. I don't know, man. Like, it's hard. You can't. There's not much you can do if the parent's not doing anything. You know?
Is there like a moral thing against scaring a child? Am I allowed to scare the child?
In what way? Like, if you're like threatening to hurt him, then it's probably not good.
No. But like, what if he did that and then all of a sudden I just went into a fit of rage? Like, not violent. But like,
if you're
if he
like
jumps
down the hall at the other end of the hallway and you're like, and you can like emanate your aura from the other end of the hallway. Like if you're far enough away and you're like emanating your rage hard enough down the hallway and it like and like there's like a black mist appearing around you because you're so mad and it freaks him out enough that he leaves forever, then that's probably fine. I think it's just like proximity of like how close you are to him and when you're mad.
But like,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Let's say that I'm at the pool and instead of going shirtless, I'm wearing a very thin shirt. This is strategic. Okay. And the kid jumps in and then I just go, just rip my fucking shirt off and just start.
I mean, that's fine because that's just
Can I do that?
Yeah, that's just like that'll just.
Can I?
That's a really good idea, actually. You know, because that's just like then the mom would be like, oh, my son's just like disturbed someone who's unwell. You know what I mean?
He's unwell.
He can't contain his anger. Like
I can't wait to be described by a stranger as unwell.
That man is unwell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's something. He got something going on for real.
Because like if the kid doesn't realize if something like that happened, and if the kid doesn't realize that, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, like the mom or like the parent nearby or the guardian nearby would be like, oh, I can't let him do that anymore.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. Like they're living in fear now. Mm. They think that perhaps I may be violent.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not.
might be kind of like,
yeah,
unstable. That you might just, you might go Hulk mode.
Yeah, you just have to like. Oh, by the way, all of my friends in the apartment complex no longer speak to me after this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're just like, what is wrong with Bill?
Like, yeah, doing that number, yeah.
Yeah.
I was also thinking like I could just like alter the trajectory of this kid's psychological situation. Yeah. Because what if like, hear me out, he does it, I turn to him and I just rip my own eyes out.
Blind yourself permanently, yeah.
And I'm like, you did this, as I squish my eyes.
Yeah, he would never be the same, you know? He'd probably age rapidly. You know?
I'm like, ruin this kid's life.
He'd probably suddenly be like,
shit.
Yeah, he'd probably suddenly become like, in a year, he'd be like a 35-year-old, just totally jaded. Just like,
he's grizzled. He looks the same, but he's got like 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, his eyes are sunken in a little bit.
He's smoking a cigarette every time you see him.
Yeah, like the kid from The Jaunt. Have you ever heard of that story?
No. What's
King.
that?
So it's like a Stephen King short story. And it's about teleportation, and when you teleport, like, it only works if you're sleeping, because if you're awake, your mind experiences eternity, right? So, like, this kid, like, pretends to be sleeping, and he's awake during the jaunt, and when he, like, goes through the teleportation, he's like, his mind is like an eternity old. He's an eldritch being inside the body of a child.
Hell yeah.
Like that type of idea.
I would make that come to fruition.
Yeah. His eyes are just like sunken in. He looks tired all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just that stare. Man, that's insane. That's insane. Yeah, I used to have fantasies of like ruining people's lives when I worked at Ruby Tuesday. like in that same way.
When I used to work at retail. Like when this woman came in, I was working at the a la carte section in a grocery store selling like the like pre-made like chicken wings and stuff like that. I would like make them and sell them to people. Right. She came in and she had this flyer from like 3 days ago. So I don't even know if it was valid anymore, but we were not told about this stuff. Like she's like, there's a deal on 20 chicken wings. And I'm like, okay, I can get those for you. I don't know, like the machine I have literally didn't have a button to put in like deals from like the pamphlets.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no way. I have no idea. Like I have no idea how to do it.
It's a made up, like they're just putting it out there just to get people in the store type
basically,
shit. Like,
yeah. Like I don't know how like you're supposed, like maybe it was at the cashier even. Maybe the cashier would have to do it. And I'm like, I don't know how to put that on the sticker, like, because I weigh the stuff and then put a sticker on it and then they bring it to the cashier.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I'm like, I can like print it off and then like, she's like, no, you have to do it. I'm like, hold up, what? You don't know what I have to do. At the same time, the guy who's working the deli left for an extended break, which he doesn't. He's already been on 3 breaks. And every time he leaves, I have to go deal with the deli as well. So there's 3 people at the deli, and I have to deal with this woman who's complaining at me because she wants 20 chicken wings for $10 instead of $13. And I'm like, that's it's like, and then I'm just like, how could I follow her out of the store and cut the brake line on her car?
Yeah, I never had like that. Like I never thought of like how will I like it that like harm some. Actually, no, I definitely did. I did have one. But
I was like 18, 19 at the time, so I wouldn't think like this anymore. I was just
for sure. This is the violent episode.
This is my violent era. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember I used to have stress dreams all the time about like, I still do, by the way, which is crazy. I still have stress dreams that I'm working. I go back to work like for a day at a restaurant, and then it'll be like, oh, I just got sat with like 12 tables and all of them are pissed at me. And like, also like the staff is like out to get me, because like sometimes there would be situations like that. Like it would be like, oh, like there was this one person who was a host who like didn't like me because like I called them out on something. Like I was like, hey, like, please don't do that anymore. And then they were like, okay, cool. I'm going to do that 12 times to you in a row.
Man.
Like that type shit.
So petty.
Yeah, I mean, that was the type of environment it was. But I used to have stress dreams about that happening all the time. And how I counteracted it is almost on some lucid dreaming shit.
Yeah.
I would then be like, I had so many dreams where like it would be like a big table of like 12 people, and all of them will be like, man, you're so stupid. Like you can't even get my drink orders right, all this other stuff. And then I would wait till they get all their food. And then I would like just like walk over to them and like slowly like just kind of lay myself on the table and just like
in your dream.
Yeah. In the dream, I would roll around and I would just go like, and then they would be like, what are you doing? I was like, just like rolling in their food, grunting.
Dude, that's so funny. I wish I could do that in my dreams. My dreams, when I'm in them. You know what I mean?
No, I was in them too, but there was like one day where I just had a dream where that happened. And then I guess it's a subconscious thing of like, oh, this is your way out.
Even if this was real life, you would have done it anyways.
Well, the thing is that I said to myself, like, I'm never working in a restaurant again.
Yeah.
Like ever. Right. And so I've said that. So I know now that if I'm in a dream and I like if I'm if I'm in a restaurant, like your
lucid strategy. Okay.
Yeah. If I'm in a restaurant, like, and I'm working there, then it's like, okay, cool. Like I know now just to do that, because in real life, I'd never actually work it again.
Yeah.
So that was but which is going to be crazy because one of these days, like something's going to happen. I'm going to end up working at a restaurant again somehow. And then I'm going to forget.
Lay on the table and go, ugh.
I'm going to have like one stressful day. Just like roll it around slowly.
Yeah.
Something about the grunting makes it way funnier.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's good.
What are you doing?
Oh no! Oh, and then you're like, my tummy hurts. Oh.
Just start vomiting.
Yeah.
With their food.
I have stress dreams still too, but it's about university.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's like university stuff where it's like suddenly like I'm like you, it's just like suddenly you're there, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, we have an assignment due tomorrow. You haven't been to this class once this semester. And I go, what? You know? But it's always like, in the dream, my reality is skewed, and I have been going to school this whole time, and I have been missing this class every single day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I have. It's weird that you have that same thing, because I have a dream that's similar where it's like I've been going and I've been trying really hard at classes, and then at the end of classes, it's like I'll get like a letter or something. It's like, hey, notice you haven't been to this class like one time, and your grade is very, very low.
It.
And it'll be like, oh shit, did I like somehow miss this? And then it'll be like, oh yeah, I did say I was going to do that. But it was like, I almost was like my skill tree. I just said, fuck this class, and I'm just going to like invest all my time in the ones that matter to me.
Yeah.
I had something similar like that actually happen to me in real life though.
Really?
Yeah, because like
I did too, but I'll tell that.
There was this time when I was going to FMU, Francis Marion in South Carolina. I was taking music business, and they loaded me down with like 6 classes, and I still don't know why they did that.
Yeah,
but
that's a lot.
It was technically 7 classes because it was one of them. It was one of them was just like all you had. It was called like I didn't understand what it was. It wasn't a class, but it was like a requirement and was like graded as if it was a class.
Oh, okay.
Right. But it was like I had to go to what is it? Like the orchestra. right?
Okay.
And I thought that you had to go like a certain amount of times because the orchestra was like every week they had it on Friday, right? And so like I'm going and I would go to one every once in a while. I'll be like, oh, that was nice. And I keep the ticket and all that stuff. And then at the end of it, you're supposed to like turn your ticket in that like, like I went to that, you know? And so the class is like getting towards, you know, the semester's winding down. And I was stressed out because like I had so many classes and I was failing. I dropped out of one of them. Like I was just like the guy gave me the idea. He gave me and a bunch of other people like, hey, like if you want to withdraw, you can, and it won't affect your GPA. And so like we did it because it was like a kind of difficult class. Yeah. And so like all this other stuff is going on. I'm like not doing anything but studying and going to class realistically. And I didn't party. I didn't do shit. Sometimes I would play video games. Like that was kind of it. Yeah. You know? And so like towards the end of it, I'm talking to this dude named Marshall. And I was just like, oh yeah, man, it's crazy. You know, he was just like, yeah, man, I've been going to these orchestras every Friday. He's just like, I'm tired of seeing them. And I was just like, oh, damn, why'd you go to so many? And he was like, you have to go to all of them. And I was like, what? And he was just like, yeah, like if you don't go to physically, you can like miss one. And I was like, what? I thought it was like you had to get like 3 or 4. And he was just like, no, dude, you had to do like 20 or however many it was. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was like, oh, shit. And he was just like, yeah, like you cannot pass this class now. And I was just like, oh, man. Damn, so I've been sitting here going to orchestras I didn't give a fuck about for like no reason. And he was just like, yeah. And I was like, damn, that sucks. Like, that's, man. And like, but at the same time, like nobody contacted you to like let you know. No, I mean, I feel like maybe they sent me an email or something, but like it? I guess I missed it, but I was talking. There was another person that was like me who was just like, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It wasn't just me that was like this because I would go with a person. Like it was like I would go with a dude and be like, oh, like we got to go to orchestra. Yeah. It's like, oh, we should go this time or whatever. And then I talked to them about it and they were like, fuck, I don't know. So I think there was like a miscommunication or something. Yeah, that's definitely like the expectations weren't like laid down properly by the school, I guess. Because if like more than one person misses that, then it's not. It's like there's something there. I got put on academic probation for that shit. Oh, man. But it was like, okay, honestly, like I feel like I wasn't mature enough at that point. I feel like I didn't like gain maturity until like I was like 26, realistically. Like I was like super duper, like I don't know how the world works. Yeah. I'm an idiot, you know? And so like I went and then I didn't tell my mom that I was like struggling. Yeah. Because I was afraid of like all my life. It was like, you go to college and that's like such a big deal. Yeah. And I went, I went. And then like I texted my mom like, hey, I think I'm failing like 3 of my 6 classes. And then she was just like, oh, that sucks. But she was just kind of like, we could have like got you like a tutor or whatever. And I was like, I don't have time. Like, they had you in trying classes. Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, so we went and then we did like she was like, hey, like I told her, I was like, I'm just not going to go to take my math exam because I'm not going to pass. Yeah. And she was just like, no, you should go and say you tried. And I went and there was like 5 people in there. Oh, wow. And I was like out of like the 20 people in the class or whatever. And that's crazy. And what the heck? I just got up and left. Like, other people were in like similar boats to you? Yeah, it was like people specifically who are in the program I was in. Oh, there was a lot. They weren't like, even like that advisor like fucked over so many people. It was like a gen ed requirement or something, right? Yeah. Dude, gen eds are so frustrating. Yeah, well, that was my thing. I was like, when am I going to use this in music business? Exactly. When I was in marketing and I had to take like all these like literature like classes, like I had to read like Of Mice and Men for like a 3rd time in university. And I was like, bro, this is like high school. Like I read it twice in high school. Yep. I don't need to read this in university again. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like they had me it was weird though, man. Like that course was just for anybody who's listening right now, if you're considering going to Francis Marion University for specifically music business, don't do it. Okay. Like I remember, dude, I've talked about this before, but I had so many shitty experiences. I had one dude it was a professor who like, he was doing, it was music theory. right?
Yeah.
And it was just music theory 101. And so I'm thinking like, I don't need to know shit about music, you know? And they say like it's 101. It's like for beginners, you know?
But it's like more advanced than it should have been or something.
Yeah, and so I go in and he's asking like, hey, what instrument do you play? What instrument do you play? And then like it gets to me and I was just like, oh, I do production. And then he just goes like, oh, that's cute.
Dude,
and I was
that
like,
sucks.
Oh.
That
yeah,
sucks.
and then I think he like weirdly had it out for me because like I did it and like at first I was like good, but I didn't know how to like read music very well at all. And so I'm like kind of teaching myself how to do that shit.
Yeah.
And it's like we're already assuming I know how to do that. And that was the class why they were like, hey, we're gonna like let people withdraw, you know? And I had a conversation with him. You said like if you want to just like come visit me. And I go in and I'm talking to him and I was like, hey, yeah, I think I'm just gonna withdraw. And then like he was like mastering something and like he was like doing music production. And so I was like, oh, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And then he was like, oh, I'm mastering. And it was like really quiet. And I was like, oh, why are you listening to it so quiet?
You need 12 lufts of headroom.
Yeah. But it was like not even that. He was just like, like he was like, yeah, well, the reason why it's quiet is because like all of the best like masters like of songs were done quietly. And he was like, and I was just like, oh yeah, I don't think that's actually like, I was like, if that's your preferred thing, I was like, but like in my experience, like any of the stuff that I've ever done that was like loud. And at this point I'm putting music out, you know what I mean? And people are like giving me feedback.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, most of the time, like, I feel like I listen to stuff pretty loud and then like, I'll kind of like vary the volume and stuff like that. And then he was just like, oh, okay, well, like, that's why I'm doing this and you're not type thing.
Oh, man.
And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. And then he turned to me and was just like, hey, can I be honest with you? And I was like, yeah, what's up? You know, and I'm telling him like I'm stressed out because I'm like, I left the class.
Yeah.
You know? And so like, he was just like, I just don't think music is for you.
Oh, man. Come on.
Yeah. And so I found his shitty fucking album that had 5 views like 4 or 5 years ago. And then just like wrote a comment that was like, hey, bro, this shit sucks. The master sucks. Just music isn't for you. And it was the only comment on that shit. So I know he saw that shit. And I didn't use curse words on purpose because I was like, I don't want YouTube to like clap that shit. I want him to see that comment. So he knows how bad that shit feels.
Oh,
and he was like a super good saxophone player, but like for what? You know what I mean?
What?
Like
saxophone players, am I right?
Yeah, no, but it was like, it was one of those things, but you know what I mean? Like it was like one of those things where it was just like, I probably have made way more money doing music full time than he does as a professor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he told me that shit. Like, and there's so many people that he's probably told that shit. That shit's so lame. I hate that shit.
It is. It's super lame. Like it's just an inflated ego. You see that a lot though.
Yep.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta piss so bad, so I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay, while you're gone, I'm gonna talk so much shit about you.
Okay. I'll be back.
Mitch, if you cut this out, I'm gonna be so pissed. He's so pissy. He's full of piss. He's got piss all in his bladder, and he's got to let that shit go. I think Mitch has a piss kink because of all the pissing that he does. He's known for pissing. Morty, pissing, Morty. Love watered down coffee. Y'all want to hear me chew on an ice cube? Little ASMR moment. Y'all ready for this? I probably really gross somebody out. I'll do it again. Oh, never mind. He's back. Hey, how you doing?
What's up? What were you saying?
Nothing.
What were you saying, huh?
Actually, like, it wasn't even that bad, but then I just started chewing on ice while you were gone as an ASMR.
Nice.
Yeah,
I gotta leave that in.
Yeah, you got to leave the rest of it in too. Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
But yeah, in a similar kind of vein to that thing with the class where you're like missing the thing, I took business administration university, which was fine. If you're, I don't know, advice if you're looking to major in marketing, I don't know if I'd recommend it in this day and age. Maybe look into something else. Nobody's hiring.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Understandable.
But Also, marketing is way too like subjective. You know what I mean?
I say the same thing about music.
Yeah.
If you're not like going to go, because like for me, I didn't care about the idea of learning an instrument.
Yeah.
And so like I had to pick an instrument, and so I just gave them voice. Like I was like, oh, like I originally was gonna do drums because I feel like I could do drums, but then my mom was like, well, like you rap, so like that's like singing, which was terrible advice, Mom, if you're listening. And so then like they had me like sight reading music, going like do re so da di do, like just doing that shit, and I was just like, I want to die the entire time. Yeah, but yeah, don't for music. Like, if you're gonna go to, okay, real shit, this is how I think people should look at it, right? Like, if you're going, no matter how hard you want to do whatever your passion is, if the passion is something creative, like, never go to school for your passion if it's creative, unless it's something that can be like an obvious, like, you can get a job easily out of it. Like always go to school for your plan B.
Like glass blowing.
Yes. Because that's a big market for glass blowing, I assume. Probably, right? There has to be.
There has to be.
Yeah.
I watched a glass blowing show and it's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I've seen some of that shit on the TikTok.
Yeah, it's cool. But anyways, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but no, yeah, it sucks. College sucks.
Go to technical college. We need more trades
real
people.
Shit.
Go to technical college.
We really do. Because like, dude, all the people in my life who make like the most money went to a tech school.
Yeah, be like a mechanic. Be a electrician. Be a plumber.
Be something.
HVAC technician.
Oh man.
HVAC technicians. Money, bro. Yeah. So
money.
Much.
And it's also like you go to school for half the time, spend half the money, and make more money faster.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Why the fuck would you? All my life, it was like people like drilled into my head that, and maybe this is like the millennial shit in me and how
don't be
like,
a blue collar worker.
Well, that was the thing all my life.
Yeah.
My dad was a blue collar worker. You know, he worked at a fucking paper mill and he would travel back and forth, do 12-hour shifts. It was insane. Yeah. Right. And he was like, don't be like me, son, every fucking day.
Yeah.
You know, and but he was like that kind of boomer that like didn't go to, he didn't graduate high school and he made money. You know, like he was fine. And yeah, you can't, it's harder to do that shit now. But like, I think there's this thing with specifically like the millennial generation where we were always told you're a special star and you need to chase your dreams and whatever the thing is. And like, that's great, right? Chasing your dreams is great and stuff. But like, it's also like fine to want to be a mechanic or a plumber. Yeah. Plumbers make fucking bank, bro. Like,
dude,
like,
for real. And we don't have enough of them. All these plumbers, carpenters too, like they're getting old. Like these kind of like specific skills, and they can't really, like, we're running out of them. Like very like you know, like stonemasons, that kind of stuff. Like we need more. We need more mechanics. We need, like, you know,
maybe there's like a part of me that like craves that like simplicity.
I know there definitely is for me too, where I'm like,
you know what I mean? Like it's just like, I wake up and I'm a blacksmith until I go to bed. Like, you know what I mean?
All
like,
of my friends, all my friends from back in Canada are mechanics. Like a lot of them are.
Yeah.
And they're just like, they get up, they go to work, they're done at like 5, you know, 4 or 5, depending on when they start. And then they go home and chill, and it's chill, and they make bank.
Yeah. Every mechanic I know loves their fucking job.
Yeah.
Because like, especially if you're into that shit, like the tinkering thing, like it's hard work. Like you're out there, it's hot. Like there's like shit going on, you know what I mean? Like it's like it's so much problem solving, you know?
And there's like so many different types of engines in cars.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, it's like there's like if that is your tism, like nurture that shit, because like
cars aren't going anywhere.
Well, it's interesting. I actually knew a dude who he actually replaced the engine in my Jeep because my Jeep engine blew up.
Dude, engine replacements are so fun.
Yeah, no, it was fun. He put some stank on it too. He put a better engine in it. Yeah, but we knew this guy who worked on fleets of like buses and stuff like that, you know, or trucks, you know, mostly trucks actually, because I think buses you have to work for the state. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how that works.
Probably. I have a friend who does mechanic work on like on the transit trains. and he has to work for like. So if it's like you definitely have to work for like the government.
Yeah. This guy does like fleets of like either private buses or like trucks, like for, you know, businesses or whatever. And on the side, he has a hobby which also makes him a bunch of money, which is he restores old cars.
Oh, my uncle does that.
Yeah, but so he does like or he does like weird mods and stuff. Like he did like one of those like, I walked into his place because he lived like not too far from me, and he lived out in the middle of nowhere too. He had like a clientele and a business just out of his home.
That's so sick. Just like having all the land.
It was two houses. Like he had one house because it's so cheap to get land and houses out there. So he would have one house like his and his wife's, and then another house that had a big garage, and that was like his office, right? And so you go in, and then it would be like, I remember seeing like it was like an old Jeep, like you know, like the old school ones, like almost army style Jeeps. He had one of those, and it had like an orange paint job on it that looked like almost like candy paint. Like it was like real out there looking for that. Yeah. But it had like I don't know what it's called, but we always called them snot noses or whatever. Like when you cut the top out of the motor and it like pops out of the top. You know what I'm talking about? What is that?
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah, it had one of those in it. And like it just looked insane. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, we've been working on this for like 2 months, and this guy just brought it in." And it's like all rich people who are just like, "Yeah, dude, like I bought this really cool old car. Can you just like pimp my ride?" type shit. And with me, like I remember my dad was super into cars, and my Jeep, the engine blew out, and they were like, "Hey, you just gotta get a new engine." And I was like, "Oh, that sucks." So that's like when I bought my Toyota, because like I couldn't afford the engine at the time, you know? And then we eventually got to a point where like me and my dad split it and put a new engine in it. Yeah. And then he was just like, "Hey, you want me to like, put something nice in there?" You know what I mean?
What do you put in there?
I don't know what it was, but I know there's more cylinders than it should have had. You know what I mean? Or originally, you know what I mean? And I'd have to ask him, but I don't really know him like that. Like I knew him, but I don't have his number. You know what I mean?
If we ever link up, I'll have a peek in there, and I can see if I can tell what it is.
Yeah, for sure. But he put something in there that was better than the one that we had originally.
That's cool.
It was very like obvious, just in terms of like horsepower and like just get up and go. Yeah, like it felt like it was like, that's cool. He put something in there.
I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah. I don't know how we ended up talking about. Oh yeah, because we were talking about how everybody is in a special snowflake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I sounded so Republican when I just said that. I didn't mean it like that.
Everybody's not a special snowflake.
I say that as like, I mean, like I work a job that is very much like I followed my dreams or whatever. Yeah. But like, I do think sometimes like I'm like that was like such a crazy thing that worked out in the first place. Like there's nothing wrong with speccing into like doing some like shit that you may consider mundane, but is actually like a good field to be in.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if you want to go do plumbing, do it.
Yeah.
If you want to go into cybersecurity, do it.
Dude, did you talk about earlier about how plumbers are old? Mm-hmm. Like all of them are like old now.
Yeah.
Before I moved, I hired a plumber. And he just said like a whole bunch of racist jokes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And kept talking about Trump the whole time. And it was one of those things where it was like, I'm in my house and he's like literally like, I'm like just chilling and he's fixing the toilet and I'm just like hanging out, you know? And then he just like looks at me and was just like, "So Jews, am I right?"
That's so crazy. What?
And I was just like, "What?
That's
excuse
crazy.
me?
What the heck?
What?" And I was just like, "Excuse me?" And then he was just like, "Oh," like he like realized he couldn't say that shit around me or something. And then he just like quietly worked, and then he'd just do another. It's like all he said were like problematic jokes the entire time. And he was like pushing 80 easily.
Oh my goodness.
He was old enough to where like I felt bad for him. Just for him like working, and then he'd just say something weird and I'd be like, "Okay, I don't feel bad anymore."
Yeah, that's crazy.
He also complained about him being old. He's just like, well, like I was like, how are you doing? And he comes in, he's just like, well, like everything hurts and I'm old and, jobs aren't showing up as much as they used to, but, I got to keep going, and I'm just like, that sucks.
I mean, yeah, it's probably not as many jobs in a small town like that, right?
No, for sure. Especially when probably jobs aren't showing up because you're making jokes about Jewish people or something.
Yeah, you go in and you're racist around people.
Yeah, it's a little hard to get the call back.
Yeah, maybe
except for with very specific
reasons,
clientele.
like,
yeah, just kind
not
of
do that.
hone that in a little.
Yeah,
just kind of reel it back.
Maybe
a bit.
hide that part of you around clients, I guess.
Yeah, maybe even have some introspection, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe like don't be that type of person.
maybe try your hardest to get into heaven now while you still can. Because I know you believe in God, my friend, and this is yeah. It was a little crazy.
That's so
a little
funny.
Crazy. So basically, we need plumbers that
aren't racist.
Don't do that.
Yeah. I don't want no racists in my house.
Yeah, I'm not super into that either, personally. But yeah, you been working out?
Yeah, I have. Have you?
I can tell you look a little bit, not as much as I should have been this week.
Hey, that's okay. It's okay.
I still did it though. I woke up at 6 a.m. the other day and did my little workout.
Nice. I'm
gonna go see.
Comping my workout recently.
Nice. We
Trying
love that.
some different stuff, new stuff.
You're doing the 1,000 lateral raises.
Yeah, I'm doing
right?
1,000 lateral raises. No, at the end of every workout now, I've been doing 100 lateral raises.
Yeah,
which
how
might
is that
or might
feeling?
not work. I don't know. It's pretty it's been good. I've only done it like 3 times.
That's 300.
That's 300, but it's like I'm sure my body, like I don't know, maybe it's like something that won't help because maybe I'm doing too much and it'll hinder development of my shoulders, but maybe my body will get used to it and it will help my shoulders. So we'll see.
Who knows? I think that it'll make your shoulders much stronger than before.
I think so too.
I'm
hoping so.
Or it'll render your body useless.
Yeah, or they'll start wasting away and I won't have any shoulders.
Yeah, just atrophying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been still trying to do cardio.
Yeah.
Too, on top of the lifting, which has been pretty good. The big thing for me is like I cut out like pretty much all sweet things. Like one time a week, I'll have like some ice cream or something.
Good. Yeah. Dude, It's crazy how much like sweeter stuff gets when you start cutting out like sugar and processed
Real shit. It's crazy.
Like back in the day, I used to do a lot of canoe trip leading. Like I would go on really long canoe trips, right? And I would like lead them for like a summer camp. And one of the training trips I went on where I was learning, it was like 2.5 weeks. And we had the only thing we were eating was basically bread, meat, and cheese.
Yummy.
And on like the 12th day or something, one of the other guys brought out like a box of crackers he had, and he gave me one. I was like, is there chocolate in this? It's so sweet. It was raisins. And I hate raisins, but I was like, this tastes like chocolate.
Yeah, that shit's insane. There was this time period, like when I first started taking Adderall, where like I was using the appetite suppressant aspect of that. Yeah. So like I was like just taking full advantage and being like, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna kind of like plan my meals more. And when I did it, I straight up like did not consume sugar. Like I mean, there was sugar in stuff, but I didn't eat anything sweet. Yeah. Like ever. Like I would maybe have like a Gatorade every once in a while or something, but even that, it was like I was doing the like not so sweet, like they had a lot of sugar in it, but it was like not the sweetest
G2
one
or whatever.
Yeah, like that type shit. And I remember I did that for like a month and a half, 2 months straight of just like really not doing a lot of sugar. And it felt great. It was a little hard sometimes because like there was part of me that was like, oh yeah, I would love like, but after like that 2-month period, I got ice cream is like my shit. Like I love ice cream.
Yeah, me too.
And It's like no other sweet I could, if you give me an amount of ice cream, I will eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so I remember like, oh man, I've been good. I'm going to get like a thing, like a pint of Ben and Jerry's and just like have like, that'll be my little treat, you know?
Yeah.
And as I took like a bite of it and it felt like I'm seeing visions of like, oh my, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, this is a taste that what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was like so much. I ate like 4 or 5 spoons of it and I was like, dude, I can't, it's like too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real. I've been on that for like a bit where like, if I have more than like half of a can of pop, I'll feel like ill.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I can't do it.
It was a little weird at first. Like just getting back into, sorry, I lost track of what we were even talking about. I was like, it was
the sugar and ice cream and.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like, I feel like I went on tour, and when I went on tour, then I just like ate like shit. But because we were like doing so much physical activity, I like just maintained and maybe lost a little bit of weight. Yeah. You know,
I lost when we were on tour. I lost some weight.
I always lose weight,
but I think it was like muscle weight though.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. If you ever come out on the road with us, we all gotta work out in the mornings.
we gotta go to Planet Fitnesses and stuff because we got those memberships.
Oh shit, we could do that.
Yeah, you got the black card, right? We can go to anyone we want.
I don't get the black card, but I can get the black card.
Yeah, it's like $10 extra, I think.
Is the black card worth it? Because like the only reason I wanted it in the first place was because like I want to see what's behind the doors.
Oh, it's like tanning beds.
Oh, really?
But they have like massage. They have like a massage thing as well. I don't really use that. I mainly use it because I travel.
Yeah.
And so like if I'm in another state and say like I'm camping and then like say I'm camping for 3 days, on the second day I might want to shower, I can just go to like a Planet Fitness.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Or like even like when I was camping the other day, we were driving through Columbus and I just like stopped and did a quick set in Planet Fitness.
Yeah. We should do that actually. We should actually do it because like I feel like that would probably be, I've noticed that when I work out in the morning, I'm always better at thinking. Like my cognitive and
gets the blood pumping.
That would probably for sure, and that would like definitely
if we
help with rapping.
Link up because we don't live that far apart. We should like road trip or something sometime. We should do that.
Yeah, that'd be sick as fuck.
Yeah. I don't have any workout friends, so
exactly. We can you can teach me your ways.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be super sick. And then I'll teach you my ways, which is not as good. Less value.
I'm sure what you're doing is good. Come on.
I'll teach you how to make my crazy eggs.
Okay.
The ones that don't look good but taste good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, do you want to wrap us up?
Rap? I'll get it because I rap. Well, yeah, that's good. We have fun here. Well, first of all, what about the Patreon? You know what, Mitch? I'm going to do what Rav does to me all the time. Okay. What's going on the Patreon?
Well, if you want to join up on the Patreon,
and if you want, hey, you saw this hour of content, at least minimum an hour of content. Mm-hmm. You want an extra hour? You better go to the Patreon. $5 a month. If you want to come in and be like, let me watch some of this, and then you're like, next month, I don't got that $5. You can back up for like a little bit and then come back, get more stuff. Yeah. You can do whatever you want. You can watch it. It's all up there.
Stopping you.
If you want to be one of the people who we talk about, we put their names at the beginning of the episodes. That's $20 a month. But what else do you get for $20 a month, Bill?
What? Oh, it's actually insane what you get for $20 a month. Not only do you get your name at the beginning, you also get to be a part of the bi-weekly. Sorry, my brain just died. You get to be a part of the bi-weekly advice segment where you can talk to us directly on Discord for the behind the paywall, and you can ask us you could be like, hey, listen, my dog got some kind of weird limp I don't know how to fix it. You could ask us that. We might not know the answer, but are you okay? Is everything all right? He's just excited. He gets excited about. Yeah.
Oh, I got super red.
Yeah. This has got to be bad for you, right?
Probably, right? You're just like pushing really hard into your brain.
Anyway, $20, you can come up, talk to us directly. And also you get your name in the beginning, which is also really cool. And you should do it. You should give us the money and then you'll be like, whoa, I'm so glad I did that. Most people, I would say if you asked most people who gave us the money, they'd say like, wow, I'm glad I did that. And if they said they didn't like it, then well, fuck them. Mm-hmm. I'm good at this. I'm really good at this.
For real.
Yeah. Also, we do some stuff behind. This is a thing I don't think we've ever really talked about too much, but behind the paywall, like there is like kind of for people who are like, remember like the Chibi Chubby days of like us playing games together and stuff like that. We do that behind the paywall. And people are always like, oh man, I wish when y'all played the video games together. Now you can. We just played Disco Elysium the other day and that shit was fun as fuck.
It's so funny, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, we all can just check it out. It's voidfm.net, baby.
Baby. All right.
Baby.
Peace.
Peace.
The following is a preview of this week's Patreon exclusive episode. Available now over on the Void FM podcast Patreon.
We're here with the advice segment. Rav is gone because I killed him.
We have killed him. He is dead. We've got a special guest, Square. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Like a quick question. Have you ever been to the Parliamentary building?
We were doing Dream Eater. It's like the worst song to fucking try to stage dive to. Yeah. They just got up on stage and then I made eye contact with them and said, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. And then they were just like, and then just jumped off into no one.